So, the second and third stanza speak of certain kind of joy that is um, that you can't express simply by just saying the words. So that's why he says, I try to keep quietly repeating, no strength but yours, but I couldn't. So he's saying those words. Um, but it seems to not be enough because there's so much outpouring of joy. And what does he have? What does he have to be happy about? It's the fact that there's a strength. There's a strength in the persona that exists because of love for God or love for another human being. So so that's why the person wants to rejoice the fact that they have that. They have God in their life, or they have someone in their life that gives them this kind of strength. But sometimes it's not enough to just say it, and that's why he says, I had to clap and sing. And if you remember the whirling dervishes of Rumi, so it's kind of like that. The best way to express this joy that you have for believing in God is not just to write about it or to talk about it. You also have to clap and sing, or you have to dance and sing for God as well, right? Or in the same manner that when you want to celebrate the fact that that you finally found the love that you've been looking for all these years. Sometimes it's not just enough to say it. You also have to celebrate it in so many more different ways, right? So that's what they're talking about. Now, when the person says, "I used to be respectable, chaste, and stable," um, but who can stand in the strong wind and remember those things? Remember that expressing joy in a very loud manner. It's something that's sometimes looked upon as a little bit crazy, because in most cultures, there's always a lot of importance put on modesty or the middle way, not exaggerating things, right? Because we don't like anything that's over the top, because that's too much. Um, but for Rumi, he says, but there's so much joy in the fact that I have found God, or there's so much joy in the fact that I have found my person. So, in this kind of love, it kind of carries you away and makes you forget everything about being looked upon as respectable or chaste or stable, because there's so much passion in it, like a strong wind or like a tornado that just carries you. And if you stand in the middle of a tornado or a hurricane, you can't help but be carried away with it, because the feeling is just that strong. The happiness, the passion is just that strong. So why not? Why fight against it? Just let yourself be carried away and enjoy the fact that you believe in God, or the fact that you have found this idea of God, or the idea of someone with you as something that is joyful. So just let it go, right? Um, and I would like you to pay attention to this idea, because it's something that Rumi kind of shares with Dante, but in a different kind of way. If you remember, when we talked about Dante's Inferno Circle 2, the punishment for that, for those who let passion, physical lust, and uh, carry them away to hell, was to be carried away in a hurricane. So for Dante, letting yourself be carried away by passion is something that can be connected to punishment. So it's something not good for Dante, but for Rumi, it's a different kind of idea. It is good for him to let yourself be carried away with this passion that you have for a person or for believing in God. Right? So let's move on to the fourth stanza. A mountain keeps an echo deep inside itself, and that's how I hold your voice. Remember that, okay, this person, this person is happy because, okay, hold on a minute, let's go back to that. Why is that person happy? We talked about strength, right? Hey, so what kind of strength? What kind of strength are we talking about? Because there are different kinds of strengths, right? That is enough to make a person this, insanely happy. If we connect it to the title buoyancy, okay, what is buoyancy? It is the fact that you can float on water, right? That's what being buoyant means. So, what kind of strength is given to you when you believe in God, or what kind of strength is given to you when you have found the great love of your life? And that's the kind of strength that holds you up, that keeps you afloat. All right, so remember this kind of love that exists, so the kind of strength that it gives you because you have this kind of love, again, is something that is intangible. All right, so when we get to this fourth stanza, how do you keep something then that is intangible within you, right? Because for one, a metaphor, poetry, love, an echo, a voice, these are things that you cannot hold. But because you want God in your life, or because you want this person in your life, you try to, as much as you can, hold on to something of them or something from them, right? So for this one, it's likened to how a mountain keeps an echo within itself. Because if you shout in the middle of a forest or in the or middle of a mountain, your voice carries because of echo. And how does echo work? Remember how echolocation works? You know that things that something exists because in front of you, even if you don't have any eyes, because the sound bounces off of the sound that you make bounces off of material objects, bounces off of solid things, right? So that's how you hold on to, or that's how you hold on to something very intangible, the way that an echo works. So in faith, what does it mean? There are things, faith and in love, actually, there are things that happen to you which sometimes we can't explain. And we believe that it happens because we love someone, or someone loves us, or it happens because of our faith in God. Like, let's say, for example, you're going to take the board exam, CPA board exam, and you know that you can't have all the answers, definitely, but you have tried your hardest and you're just leaving it all up to God. Or you pray for a miracle because that's the only thing that you can do. Like, or you pray for a miracle that this pandemic is done. And when it happens, against all odds, you know that those things happen because, well, it's either the scientists are really good at finding the cure, or you really did well during your CPA board exams. But because you prayed for it, you know that it happened because you believed in God enough to pray for it. So, kind of like how an echo works. You know that the sound exists. You know that something exists because sound bounces off of material objects, or sorry, solid objects. So it's the same thing with love, I guess. A lot of unexplainable things happen and sometimes it's really not related, but we believe it does. Like when somebody says, "Oh, you're blooming because you're in love," it's, I don't know. Why do people have red cheeks? Because of the temperature or their DNA, or that's how they're made. But or that person really has been beautiful all along. But we like to believe that someone becomes more beautiful because they're in love. Or, oh, you have more purpose in your life now. Oh, it's because you have that someone. So you have someone who loves you. So now you're all a different kind of person. You're so much better. So there are things, like, unexplainable things that happen. And we know that they happen because we believe in God, or we believe that, we are loved. And so unexplainable things sometimes happen, like when you have a spring in your step, or you find yourself being able to try things that you have been afraid to try, and you're more okay with doing it, or you're more okay with taking risks now because you're braver, because you have God backing you up, or you have someone to lean on. So those are, I think, the first four stanzas.